and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
G'day, g'day.
And how you going? Scooby-Doo-boop. I don't know, what are the other words?
Me either.
And how's your wife?
Hi, Dave. How's your wife?
Oh, actually good.
Oh, great.
Thanks for asking.
For a change?
Actually good.
Well,
she's
married
normally
to
a
you.
nightmare. Is that what he's saying?
No, she's married to him. She's usually bloody miserable, mate.
Hey.
She's great right now because you're at work.
Yeah, you're bloody at work. She's having a bloody great day, mate. Don't you worry about that.
So,
Not stinking up the joint.
it's so good to be here, Dave. Quick question for you two, and maybe your wife, if she's listening. How good is it to be alive?
She doesn't listen. It's pretty good to be alive. I personally wish I was never born.
She'd probably answer. Quite good.
Okay.
Okay.
She's actually texted me now. Quite good.
Dave, how would you describe this show? Explain it to me like I was a 14... What was this show called? Explain it to me like I was a 14-year-old? No, 4th grader. Is that the name of the show?
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Are you smarter? Explain it to me.
You've just proven no.
I'm thinking of the quote from Denzel Washington from a movie.
Okay.
Explain it to me. Doesn't matter. You just explain it to me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll explain it to you. This is for all ages. Hey, if you listen to this show, congratulations.
Welcome.
We're about to change your life.
Yeah.
What we do here is we take it in turns to report on a topic often suggested to us by one of the listeners. We go away, we do a bit of research on that topic, we bring it back in the form of a report while the other two people chime in with a couple of comments, bit of commentary, some riffs here and there.
Polite compliments.
Exactly, but never dog shit riffs.
No.
And that's Jess and I's role this week.
Yes.
It's the non-dog shit riffs. But the king of the dog shit riffs / doing the report this week, Matt Stewart, you're going to tell us a tale about something often suggested to us by a listener.
It was suggested by a listener. It was also voted on by the Patreons. And we always get on a topic with a question, which I'll ask you in a second before, just so people stop yelling at their iPods. The Denzel Washington quote was from Philadelphia. Explain this to me like I'm a 6-year-old. Okay?
Okay.
So what I was saying was around the mark.
It was close.
It was
And
close.
it's on us that
But
we didn't get it.
Somehow I was confusing the Rove McManus show
Yes.
with the Denzel Washington performance.
Yeah.
All right. This question has 4 parts. Please don't buzz in until all 4 parts are complete and you have your full 4-word answer.
This guy starts hosting one game show podcast and now he's lost his mind with
Yeah.
power.
Okay, so you got to listen. No repeats.
Oh, I'm just going to I'm going to tune out.
Okay.
You're on your own, Dave.
All right, here we go. Lock me in. 4 parts. Here we go.
Word 1. What is the definite article? 2. What is the surname of the person who tops the list of Rickies on famouspeople.com? 3. What is the 3rd most common name of English monarchs since 1066? And 4. By market share, what is the 2nd most popular energy drink in America? No Googling, Dave.
I'm not Googling. I'm writing down those clues.
Yes?
Martin?
No.
Damn it.
Gervais. Lake.
Yes? The lake?
3rd most popular monarch. John.
Edward.
No, it's one of the classics, obviously.
Charles.
No.
Henry.
Also a Beatle.
George.
Yes?
The Lake George Rockstar.
No.
Like George.
Swooping in here, 2nd most popular after Red Bull.
V. What else
What
is
might
there?
the Lake George?
Monster.
Yes.
Didn't you say monster?
Said Rockstar.
Rockstar. Monster.
The Lake George Rockstar.
Well, honestly, that's the report I want to hear.
I want to hear it on the Lake George V.
So that's right. This week I'm talking about the Lake George Monster, which was suggested by Megan from Canberra in the Australian Capital Territory. If she was from America, of course, she'd be Megan.
That's right. It's different.
It's different. That's what I love cultural differences.
Oh my God, yes.
I love them.
I embrace them.
I love water.
Yep.
I love water.
Yeah.
And I love water. Okay, so let me take you back to
My favourite's water.
Water.
There's just nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's incredible stuff.
Well, they came up with the language, right? So let me take you back to the summer of 1904 in the small town of Hague in New York, when it was terrorised by a mysterious water creature known as the Lake George Monster.
Oh my God. Never heard of this.
No, I never heard of it either. Only suggested by the one person in the hat.
Yeah, right.
Which normally suggests it's slightly more obscure.
And we weren't alive. Matt was, so he might remember it. But,
Yeah.
this is way before our time.
I think I had my 300-year uni catch-up.
Reunion?
Reunion. Thank
Wow,
you.
so everyone you went to uni with also lives forever.
No, I was the only one there.
But it's good to celebrate the milestone.
I had it at a cemetery.
Cheers to you.
Mysterious monster in this town of Hague. And town of Hague is named after The Hague in the Netherlands. And in the early 1900s, only had a population of approximately 1,000 people. So it was a little summer vacation kind of town. Its population now is even less. So,
oh my God, the monster ate them all.
The monster did ate quite a few.
Whoa.
And ate them too. It's in the beautifully named Warren County, which is a new favourite, and located on Lake George, of course. And this is no coincidence, because this is where the Lake George monster got its name.
Holy shit.
Right, I mean, the ultimate nominative determinism for this monster.
According to Joe Nickell, writing for Skeptical Briefs, volume 14.4, one of my favourites, Lake George is a placid 32-mile lake in western New York's Adirondack region. Adirondack. I'm sure that's definitely right. The first sighting of the beast was when an American Civil War veteran named Colonel William Mann took his boat out onto the lake from the nearby island he lived on. It was a Saturday afternoon, and Mann was out on the water entertaining guests. According to a local witness and friend of Mann, those others in the boat with
was
the
monster
colonel,
a friend of man or
foe,
an angry monster?
foe of man. According to the friend, the colonel was there with a Mr. Davies, a Mrs. Bates, and several other congenial spirits. This witness, an artist named Harry Watrous, I should have looked up how to pronounce his name, is quoted in the book Lake Monster Mysteries, Investigating the World's Most Elusive Creatures by Joe Nickell and Benjamin Radford, a couple of big lake monster experts. I bought their book, and it's got a lot of great tales in it. They're all lake-related monsters.
Wow.
They're investigating.
Wow. So, like
Nessie is the most famous one, but it's in that genre.
Right.
And that's in a lock.
This is pre-Nessie. As listeners would know.
Pre-Nessie.
Pre-Nessie. Nessie was in the 30s.
Wow.
We did a report on that once.
That's right. Live.
Yes, definitely remember.
At the Imperial Hotel.
With Nick Mason. I wrote it in 2 hours because Jess was really ill.
That's right. That's why I don't remember it super well. I had a migraine.
Yeah, you were not too good that day.
But why had I left it so late to write it?
Maybe you had the report ready to go, but you said, look, I just said, I'll step in and
I think that's right.
Read it out because, it's one thing to be there and make a few jibes here, but if you had to read off the bright iPad, maybe it would have hurt your head.
Not a good time.
So Watrous, however you say his name, was quite a successful artist. Just touched my hand. And according to the Spellman Gallery, he's known for stylized figural works, academic portraits, and night scenes. He was born in San Francisco to wealthy parents who made their fortune in the California Gold Rush, which was, as you would know, around the year 1949, which is why the San Francisco 49ers got their name.
1949 or 1849?
1849. I have the millennial bug where I just upgrade 18 and 19.
Yeah.
That's
same.
my
That's how
millennial
generous
bug.
you are.
That's how generous.
I bump it up. I'm going to bump it up.
I give everything a +1.
So because of this wealth, he was able to travel to Paris and study at the Julian Academy and Bonnet's Atelier. Some great French pronunciation there, I'm sure. He was influenced by Jean-Léon Giron and William Bourgeois, and especially influenced by Jean-Louis Meissonier.
Well, I can see why this one won the vote.
I love it when Matt speaks French. It's such, you can see why it's the language of love.
So beautiful, isn't it?
Dare I say, sexy.
That's sexy.
Yeah.
That's sex on a stick.
I'm not trying to make it that way, but that's the language.
Yes, it's the language, but it's also
sensual, it's sexual.
Yes.
His academic genre painting was so popular that a Parisian art dealer marketed it successfully in London, as did prestigious American collectors before he returned to his home country. Around 1905, his eyesight began failing and he became more innovative, specialising in highly seductive, stylised female figure paintings.
This is where the sex appeal is coming from.
Yeah. I had a look at some good stuff there. But anyway, he started losing his eyesight a year after this story that I'm telling. So you can trust his eyewitness account.
Okay, great. But later on in
that
life,
there was a Mr. Davies and a Mrs. Bates in the boat.
and are we led to believe that he lost his eyesight, but he had, was painting from memory these beautiful women?
Yeah.
He'd seen so many in his life from his
Well, I think
travels.
his eyesight got less good I don't think he lost it entirely.
Help me put the joke together here.
Okay.
You know how people say that if you wank too much, you'll go blind.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right. He's painting like the really erotic, sexy stuff.
Yep.
And then he loses his eyes.
I feel like I can't improve on that. I've never made anyone laugh like that.
I think I've nailed it.
I think you've nailed it.
And my delivery was perfect.
It was so good.
And it was worth interrupting.
How did
I
she
think.
do it?
Get away with words, Perkins.
No Allen key required. That one that arrived fully formed.
I just knew somebody else had thought of it and would message us and be like, I can't believe you missed it. You know, I had to get in there
Yeah.
with that perfect
You're
joke.
so competitive. It's mine.
It's
I called
mine.
it first. Apparently, he also studied under Jules Joseph Lefebvre. I don't know if you recognise that name. He was the French artist who painted Chloe, a painting we featured in our Artifact series.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. Love Chloe.
And like Lefebvre, this guy also had paintings accepted at the prestigious Paris salons. His were in 1884, 80, and 85. Anyway, getting a little sidetracked there.
So he's on the boat.
He's the guy witnessing it. He's the friend of the people on the boat.
Right.
He's friends with this guy, Colonel Mann. So Colonel Mann and his friends are on the lake having fun when the mysterious and horrible creature appears. Its head breaks through the surface of the water a mere 10 feet from the boat. So they've seen it right up close. They get a real good look at it. And it freaked them out, I'll be honest with you. It was a strange-looking thing, had big white teeth, a yellow and black stripy head, and blue ears. And yeah, they're panicking. According to the witness, Watrous, the artist, Mr. Davies, who had a rather high-pitched voice, uttered a scream that must have been heard as far away as Burlington, Vermont, which is that's a different state.
Wow. Home of the creamy.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm with somebody, something scary's happening, right? And they're screaming that loud.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Tone it
pipe
down.
the fuck down. Okay? You are overreacting to this life-threatening thing.
Yeah. Is this helping?
I'm so embarrassed right now.
Yeah. Do we want to
Yeah.
be rescued by the Burlington Vermontians?
I didn't think so.
No.
Shut up.
Keep it in our freaking state at
Jesus.
least.
Oh, outside scream, please.
Help me think of the joke here. Okay. Someone's done a screamy,
Yes.
and in Vermont, they're eating a creamy.
Yeah.
Something like that. It
I don't
rhymed.
think we can improve on that,
Again,
Dave. I
fully
think
formed. Now I understand how you felt about my joke before
Yeah.
because you're like, what are you talking about?
I'm
That's
putting the Allen
perfect.
key back in my pocket.
Yeah. You've nailed
Sorry,
it.
we just got to trust ourselves.
You must.
So Mr. Davies is squealing, basically.
And I love that he already noted. And this guy's already got a high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
He's taking it even higher. Mrs. Bates, who was also on the boat, stood on a seat and beat the water with her parasol. So she was a woman of action.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unlike this guy just screaming his head off.
Whereas,
The screamer is the colonel?
no, the screamer
Okay.
is Mr. Davies. Then we
Okay.
have Colonel Mann, who apparently just shouted, "Good God, what is it?" And he repeated that over and over again. "Good God, what is it? Good God, what is it?" Until it went out of sight again and the boat was heading back to shore.
But had she killed it with the parasol?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Beat it to death.
Copped a parasol to the face. How do you recover from that?
You don't.
It's embarrassing.
I die of embarrassment.
Totally. Can't go back to your little lair and tell your friends.
Yeah. Oh my God, I got defeated by a
Oh my gosh, she had a
parasol.
little umbrella type thing. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So embarrassing. It's quite a flimsy one too.
Yeah,
I
is
think
that, is that like a sun umbrella?
Yeah,
It's
basically-
more like decorative than
Basically
anything.
disintegrated in the water, but I got freaked out. I started screaming. They heard it in Vermont. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'll never show my face again.
So
I creamied my pants.
Maybe it's that. I don't know.
Could someone put that joke together? You haven't stopped text messages coming in.
Yeah.
You've encouraged them. People are going to put your joke back together for you.
Okay, great. Oh, let's just go on the record now and say, don't.
I want to see it.
I don't. So put it somewhere only Matt can see it.
We understand that
His ass!
Whisper it on the wind.
Whisper it on the wind, Matt will hear it. I don't want to hear it.
you can't pause the podcast and brainstorm for 3 hours. You got to go off the top of your dome. That's all we got.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we're humans. It's crazy I have to remind you of that.
Yeah, no,
But we are humans.
I'm so glad someone finally got to say it. So the witness Watrous was an interesting guy, the artist, but Colonel Mann himself was probably lived an even more fascinating life. He was born in Sandusky, Ohio, God's country itself.
Sandusky.
Sandusky.
I like that.
In 1839, and he studied engineering while managing a rundown hotel he inherited before playing a prominent role in the Civil War.
Wow.
So this is all by his sort of like early 20s he's done all this. And in the war, played a pretty big role. According to encyclopedia.com, Mann is part of the Michigan Brigade under General George Armstrong Custer. You familiar with General Custer?
Oh, Custer's
And
Last Stand.
That's all I know. He's got a mustache and he stood one last time.
And then there was that TV show in the early 2000s called Custer's Last Stand-Up about a young wannabe stand-up comedian. And I think his last name was Custer. And I'm pretty sure they came up with the name first and then worked a whole series back on it.
That's great. And as a kid, if I ever heard it, it was custard. I just always assumed custard.
Yep.
He still to this day makes me hungry.
For custard?
For custard. Specifically for custard. So yeah, he's in the army under General Custer and was recognized for leading his regiment in the decisive battle on Rummel's farm during the Battle of Gettysburg, which was one of the big Civil War battles. His contributions to the army, with the knowledge he had gained studying engineering, extended to patenting several inventions that proved invaluable to the improvement of the troops' accoutrements. Since the US Army adopted several of his patents, Mann had earned more than $50,000 from his inventions when he retired in 1864 with the rank of colonel. So he's making extra cash he's climbing his way up the army ladder in the Union, but also making inventions on the side and then getting cash back from them as well.
And then on the side, running a rundown hotel.
Yeah.
What a guy.
It's busy.
After the war, he continued inventing, but also added a bit of corruption to the mix. Back to Encyclopedia. Mann invested money from his patents and his property in an oil development scheme. He then sold stock considered questionable to army acquaintances, and when he allegedly did not fulfill his promises, he was sued. When the first major oil swindle case was dismissed, though, Mann moved to Alabama and worked as the federal assessor of internal revenue. That feels like that's a right fit. He's fleeing some sort of fraud scheme.
Yeah.
And he gets a gig as an assessor of internal revenue.
That just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Who's better at working it out than the guy that... No, he's an expert.
So you hire the hackers.
That's right. I was just thinking
Yes.
that. The people that hack into your bank, you hire them.
Yes.
That's your new head of security. And now you give them access to everything.
Job well done. Well, that gold's safe.
I'm going home. Anyway, here's the keys. Lock up when you're done. Mr. What is Mr. Mystery Black? No one buys his username. That was my bad. That was my bad attacker's code name.
Mystery Black.
Mr. Mystery Black.
Mr. Mystery Black was my father.
Call me Mr. Mystery.
Encyclopedia continues. Money acquired through the oil scheme enabled Mann in 1868 to join with 3 newspaper editors and publish morning and evening editions of the Mobile Daily Register. So he's getting dabbling in media.
How can you change careers this many times?
I don't understand.
How?
I think he might have been a millennial.
Yeah.
God, they can't stick to anything.
He's not done, though.
If they just bloody held off the avocado toast,
Exactly.
they don't have multiple properties.
How many avocado toast did I eat growing up? And how many properties have I got?
Yeah.
About 10 properties and about 3 avocado toasts. I didn't
So-
like it. I kept trying it. It wasn't very good.
It wasn't for me.
But you unsold them.
Yeah, that's right.
At a profit.
At a profit. It's trickle down economics.
You what do you call it? What do they do with the houses? Flip it. You flipped them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn them upside down. Called them upside downies.
Sold them for double the price.
The difference is I put the avocado underneath and take a bite out of it. That became the trademark.
I spit that bite back out.
Yeah. It's an accoutrement.
It's a garnish
I
now.
still don't like it.
So, yeah, he wasn't done. He also ran for Congress as a Democrat, winning a majority of the votes, but apparently was never able to take the position because the federal authorities denied him a certificate. Which is a bit vague, but maybe they knew he was real dodgy.
They're like, that's a bad idea. We're gonna veto that one.
He became a full-time inventor after this. And
I was part-time before, not a full-time inventor.
All right, let's go.
I'm
full-time.
going to lean into it. If they don't want me in Capitol Hill, I'll just keep working with myself. And he received a patent for his invention of a boudoir car.
Oh, it's like the race car bed.
Well, it was a luxury train carriage, sort of. So, and he took the invention over to Europe and he sold it. And according to Encyclopedia, in 1873, the year the St Kilda Football Club was founded, he founded the Mann Railway Sleeping Carriage Company in a factory 200 miles north of London and introduced his sleeper cars to Europe. He then returned to the United States in 1888 when he began losing money after a few successful years.
Oh my God. How old is this guy?
So what is he? He was born in 39 and we're up to 88. So he's nearly 30, if my maths is right there. No, he's nearly 50.
I was going to say, hang on. It doesn't sound
I'm
right.
going to argue my maths was not right.
But what you do is you say 50 and you take 20 off that.
Yeah, that's right.
You add 1 to 18 minus 20 from 50. It all adds. It works out at the
it'll
end.
make sense.
Honestly, that has really changed
But
the
still-
picture I had of him in my mind now.
But
Like,
a
this
50-year-old
old guy, of course.
This old guy who's had 18 careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's unbelievable.
So he's left the railway entrepreneur business. He's retired from being an army colonel, an inventor, hotelier. So what does he do next? He doubles down in the magazine business, of course.
Huge.
In 1891, he took part ownership of a magazine called Town Topics, the Journal of Society.
Wow.
Jeez, I'm buying that
Yeah.
sight unseen.
Yep.
I want to know what it's just that's a sexy topic.
Yeah, town topics.
Yeah. If you put that in French, that's the only way you could sex that up any further.
Yeah.
Town Topics, the Journal of Society.
That might be too sexy,
Yeah.
actually.
The publisher of the mag was his brother Eugene, who bought it 6 years earlier. And according to Alf Pratt, writing in the Dictionary of Literary Biography, Eugene and William Mann developed the techniques that helped bring about a revolution in society journalism. As Encyclopedia.com writes, when the magazine arrived in New York, readers enjoyed its glossy features, well-written fiction, book and music reviews, light verse, politics, and somewhat racy features. William took over the entire publication after Eugene wrote about the prevalence of abortion and was convicted of sending obscene material through the post.
What?
He wrote an article that mentioned that abortion was becoming prevalent, and that got published, so he got convicted of sending obscene material through the post.
Okay, the system works.
That's so why I just mentioned it. He got charged. You hear that sometimes?
Sending it through the post.
Yeah, that's one of the crimes. It must just be a real old school crime because I've heard that a few times. People getting done, like bigger criminals getting done for doing something through the post because that makes it a federal law or something like that.
Right.
But it's so funny.
That's odd.
Well, maybe not that funny.
It's pretty funny.
So yeah, that was pretty obscene mentioning abortion.
Yeah. And
Honestly,
its prevalence.
Are we going to get charges on mails this podcast? Do not mail the podcast.
Do not.
Please.
That's on the record. Do not mail this
We've
podcast.
asked that.
Yeah.
Do
So
not.
Allegedly. So I think we're safe. I think if you say allegedly, then you're safe.
Then you're fine.
Yep.
If my journalism degree taught me anything, it's just chuck an allegedly in there and you're fine.
And
or
did it
an
teach
in my
anything?
opinion.
Oh,
In
yeah,
my
great.
opinion, sources say.
Oh, man.
And I will never name my source.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're...
Chipotle.
You sound like you... Well, that's good stuff. So, yeah, his brother gets done for obvious obscenities. But as it turns out, the real obscene stuff happened when the magazine was under William's lone guidance, when the magazine publisher made a fortune by extorting the cream of New York society. According to a guy, W.H. Flint, writing for Crime Reads, around this time, William Mann was known for his choleric temperament, long white beard, and flaming red bow tie. Just painting a picture of the man. So he's getting older now. Big white bushy beard.
And a red bow tie.
Flaming red bow tie.
Flaming red bow tie.
I love that. I love when someone goes, "This is my look. I'm going all in on this
This is
one."
me. I'm done.
Yeah, does that just happen one morning? You look in the mirror, put it on and go,
Nailed
this
it.
is it
Yeah.
forever.
This works.
I'm going to be this guy.
Yeah, I wonder if he inspired Pee Wee Herman because I think that's his look as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Long white beard.
If you had to have one outfit forever, you're
Great
a cartoon
question.
character and you're in the same outfit always. What is it?
I've sometimes thought about it would make things easier in the morning, but though apparently the weather here in Melbourne famously changes a lot.
It's the only place I think that happens.
But what would I go for? Ooh. I'd probably go boots, black jeans,
Yep.
t-shirt, but I have to pick what colour, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Maybe a blue t-shirt. Love my blues.
Sure.
And then maybe my red jacket over the top.
Can't take the jacket off ever.
Okay. But would you rather never
that's
be able to put a jacket on or never be able to take it off?
Yeah.
That's a cruel question.
Well, I mean, when do you see cartoon characters with accessories on? You know,
True.
it's rare.
Yeah.
And no, it happens.
Donald Duck's got his chop out the
It
whole time.
happens. Like Lisa Simpson will wear a raincoat or something
That's
where,
right. Or
where appropriate.
Flashback to like 70s Homer. He's always wearing that green
Yeah. Okay, I'll allow the jacket.
jacket on and off. Okay, that's me. How about you?
I think I'm wearing overalls. Just,
Fantastic.
I don't know
Because
why.
you can roll them down if you need to get the baps out. If it's getting a bit hot.
If I need to get the baps out because it's a bit hot, and obviously fastest way to cool a woman down is exposed baps.
Baps out.
Yeah,
the headlights
that
on.
was exactly my thinking
Everyone
too.
knows
Do you have the drop down butt as well?
Of course, yeah, they're long john
And the
overalls.
zip off at
yes,
the knee.
yes.
Honestly, it's
Perfect.
the perfect outfit. And
Yeah.
Matt, would you wear all?
Oh, I'm thinking if I'd just go suit, tailored suit,
Yeah.
Armani,
Yes.
chains,
Yes.
you know, like crucifix,
Uh-huh.
button-up shirt, probably buttoned about halfway up, sunglasses hanging
Yep.
in the V there. I'm just describing Warren Ellis from,
That's
from
immediately
the
what I
Dirty
meant.
Three.
Warren Ellis. I think I'm just going to change mine to tuxedo because you're never too overdressed, but sometimes you can be underdressed.
Yeah.
With a tuxedo. Don't have to worry
I think a
about it.
tuxedo is overdressed.
But I think it's funny.
In what
It's
scenario?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with overalls.
If I wore a tuxedo to this podcast every week, it would be pretty good.
It would be pretty good.
And very quickly, we just become used to it. And it's just like, oh. But where do you go from there? If you want to put in an
Yeah.
effort, then you're stuffed.
2 tuxedos.
yeah.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
wear to your second wedding?
Yeah. Wait, don't you love me more than your ex-wife?
I'll start planning.
All right. Well, back to Flint's writing about this guy, William Mann, the Colonel. While most
Hang on. Like, this is pre-Colonel Sanders, isn't it?
yeah,
Because he's chosen his outfit before the Colonel
Yeah.
Sanders.
That's right.
Just want to give him proper credit.
Yep.
The original Colonel. When people say the Colonel, they should talk about this guy.
Yeah. Now we'll say, sorry, who?
Which one?
Oh.
So yeah, he's got this magazine going, and Flint continues. While most of the magazine was devoted to short stories and light verse, reviews of recent plays and books, articles on art, music, sports, politics, the section to which subscribers turned first was called Saunterings.
Okay.
I'm flipping straight over to Saunterings. This chronicled the activities of high society. The short entries included notices of engagements and marriages, reports of tea parties, racing meets, and debutante balls. But Mann, who wrote most of the items himself under the pen name The Saunterer, would also aim ungracious barbs at the prominent.
Love it. It's like Bridgerton.
Yes, it is.
Extrapolating a bit from Flint's examples, the barbs seem to almost exclusively be aimed at women. Here's some examples. Seldom does a brunette make a pretty bride, and Miss Maria Arnott Haver was no exception.
Oh, brutal.
Or the erotic southern novelist Amelie Reeves has a kink in her hair that extends well into her brain. And
He did not.
Miss Van Allen suffers from some kind of throat trouble. She cannot go for more than half an hour without a drink.
What a bitch.
He's a bit. The Saunterer is a bitch.
He's got
my God.
claws.
Absolute bitch.
Excuse me, brunettes don't make pretty brides.
What a funny. That's a lot of
That's
people.
a lot of people.
A lot of
It's a
people.
very normal, very common hair color. And yes, I'm a little defensive.
I mean, normal's a bit hurtful to my people.
That's why I changed it to common.
Yeah. Are you saying I'm abnormal?
No, I'm saying you're a freak, but your hair is basically brown now.
Yeah.
It's the beard that
been
makes
pretty
you look-
sad as time's gone on. It's dulled.
Stay in your lane.
It's now. I think it might be mouse.
It's an auburn
a mousy
at
auburn
best,
brown. Yeah.
but it's brown.
With the light flickering it could get a little bit of red in there still. Do you think I should
Diet?
dye it?
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. Flint continues, but even these zingers didn't fully account for the column's popularity. In Saunterings, Mann would also lay bare the peccadilloes and transgressions of New York's storied 400, including romantic affairs, the births of illegitimate children, and bouts of venereal disease.
Okay.
It is Bridgerton.
Yeah, it's Lady Whistledown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with New York's 400? I didn't know.
No.
So the 400 people that matter.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
Or there's only 400 people that matter or something like
Yeah,
that.
so
That's still a lot of people.
So, yeah. Yeah, great. I'll easily make that.
in
Top
New York,
400?
how big's New York? There can't be that many. What is that, 500 people, 600? I didn't know about it, so I looked it up. And apparently a guy named Ward McAllister told the New York Tribune in 1888, quote, "There are only about 400 people in fashionable New York society. If you go outside that number," he warned, "you strike people who are either not at ease in a ballroom or else make other people not at ease."
Oh, we found a second bitch.
This is exactly where I don't want to be. They sound
In the
like they
400s.
suck.
Doesn't that sound awful?
They don't know what they're doing in a ballroom. Shut the fuck up. You don't know how to boil a kettle. Fuck you.
But that's the funny thing is that Mann he's like going at them. So, but
Yeah.
he's doing it in a way that you're like, I don't like anything involved in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's New York's high society, the movers and shakers, the snootiest of the snooty. And Man was airing their dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a bitch.
Back to Flint. Although he never would identify these individuals by name, which is so brutal because he did it to like the brunette bride and stuff. He's happy to name them, but
Yeah.
the 400 he won't name their names. Too powerful. Worried about retribution.
But you can't. But surely he's doing like little clues and
Apparently
stuff, so
doing-
people can figure it out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. He made broad hints that made them quite recognizable.
Yeah.
And so he might include a victim's home address or occupation.
Yeah, that would probably.
He might use their first and surname.
Yeah.
The
example.
home address is so funny. We've come across that a few times, old New York articles from around this time where they do a story about someone and then say, who lives at, and
Yeah.
their full address. It's like,
Miss
what?
Veronica Cumblepot of 42 Cumblepot Lane. I think I nailed it both times.
What?
Cumblepot.
Cumblepot, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Was that a coincidence that she lived there, or is that a family street?
Family Street.
And
Yeah.
he'd write something like, "She's certainly no humble pot."
Ooh,
Bitch.
and then he'd say, one time, this is how he gave someone away. He said, "The young man's last name, incidentally, is the same as the title of the leader of the Church of Rome." It's like, just say Pope, you know? You're saying using so many words to out him
Yeah.
without. Oh, but I never
I
know
never
names.
said that.
No.
I never said.
Oh, if that's what you extrapolated.
Oh.
Oh, I meant Johnny Rome from Rome. That was who I was saying. If you think I meant Pope, well, that's up to you.
That's up to you, but I mean, I would look into what Pope's been up to. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Back to Flint. Although no respectable person would admit to reading Saunterings, which I don't think you two gave enough to. Saunterings by the
Saunterings.
Saunterer.
The Saunterer is so funny.
So good. It's like going straight to the sealed section of,
Yeah.
of Dolly or Cleo.
XOXO Saunterer.
Yeah.
The Saunterer.
It's real Gossip Girl stuff. I love it.
So yeah, apparently no one would admit to it, but the column was a major reason that Town Topic's circulation skyrocketed to 140,000 copies. I think from about 60,000. So it jumped up quite
And
quickly.
people are like, I read it for the articles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not the Saunterings.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know there was a section called Saunterings.
Oh,
I
that's
never.
so strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
Somebody's like, I just buy it for the sexy pictures.
Yeah, those page 3 girls, fantastic. They're so beautiful.
And crucial to that success was one essential fact. The gossip was invariably true. So all these things are
They're good sources.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best defense. The
Yes.
truth.
He chose his sources carefully, drawing on the one hand from well-informed but cash-starved servants, and on the other hand from society types looking to damage their rivals' reputations.
Yes.
Oh, someone who's ranked at 401. This is my way to break it.
I gotta get
That's
in.
right. Drop one out and bump up. And he'd also use people against each other, getting them to buy protection for themselves. And so if you pay, then I won't.
Oh, I won't write anything
Yeah.
about you. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And is he doing this sort of anonymously?
Yeah,
Like people don't know it's him at this stage?
yeah.
Because otherwise you've just put a target on your back.
Yeah, that's right. And he always made sure he had at least a couple of sources confirming it. As lucrative, this is still Flint, as lucrative as Town Topics was, Mann managed to make even more money from the articles he didn't print. When he came across scurrilous stories about prominent figures, he would approach his intended mark close to press time and obligingly offer the opportunity to invest in stock in his company or purchase advertising in the magazine or even extend Mann a loan. Oh, I've got this story about you.
This is you, isn't it?
Yes, this is you.
This is you?
So I wasn't... I mean, this is a separate thing, but I am looking for investors at the moment.
Yeah.
And it'd be a conflict of interest to have an investor. I couldn't probably write about you if you were. That's by the by. So, yeah, anyway, this story.
People are like, man, you bastard.
Man, you bastard.
They're signing the check with gritted teeth.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You piece of shit.
Fuck. Take it and get out.
If the victims complied, the articles were pulled and the contributors' names were posted in a list of immunes hanging in the Town Topics office. Over the years, dozens of Gilded Age luminaries bought Mann's silence. Although it's impossible to know exactly how much he earned from this extra editorial work, the total was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And of course, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, that's a lot of moolah.
That's like billions.
Yeah.
It's so much.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know if they have a word for it yet, for what it would be today.
Gajillions?
Oh, no, sorry.
Could it be gajillions?
It could be gajillions. Could be double gajillions.
Could be.
Matt, you sound so fucking stupid right now.
Could
double
be
gajillions.
double gajillions. And that's the kind of money you'll see people at the cotillion ball, which is a thing I learnt from the OC. Anyway, so this is what Mann's been up to when he decided to take a relaxing boat ride with his friends on Lake George. Just taking a bit of break from all the blackmailing. Go to my summer home up in Hague.
Is this still the Colonel?
This is the Colonel. So that
all of that was the Colonel.
That was all
Mann.
the Colonel.
I can't believe that he did that much in his life, and he's still got
a boat ride.
A boat ride.
Still got a boat ride to come.
No, but it's like, and that's not his whole life. He's still continuing. Now here he is on a boat. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's a freak. So after Mann's interaction with the beast, which was obviously led to shrieking, he was asking questions. What is it?
What is it?
What's going on?
Oh, good Lord, what is it?
If I was working in his business, I'd be like, is this someone out to get me back or something?
Yeah, for sure.
But after his sighting, there were more and more sightings being reported along the shoreline, and soon the word spread. According to a New York Times article, within a few days, all of Lake George had heard about the sea monster, and summer residents were leaving in droves. All the metropolitan newspapers carried long accounts with interviews from eyewitnesses of the sea monster. They called it sea monster twice, but it's a lake monster.
It's different.
It's like, this is an old article, but, you know.
They're different bodies of water.
Has language changed that much in the last 100 years?
No, in their defense, maybe they thought that the monster had come from the sea,
Oh,
crawled
true.
over a bit of land, jumped into the lake.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, New York Times. I can't believe it. I don't know why I doubted you.
I'm still angry.
Okay. With good reason.
Yeah.
According to Nickell, news of the incident spread across the state. One of the sites of a subsequent night, so a few nights later, it was seen one night near a local hotel called the Island Harbour House. According to a local tale, a young couple honeymooning at the hotel had gone out for a moonlight canoe ride when the monster surfaced close to their canoe, causing it to capsize. The groom, unable to keep his wits about him, swam to shore, leaving his bride to fend for herself.
Unable to keep the wits about him, aka shitting himself and swimming to the shore.
Yeah, they put it kind of politely. He was shitting himself.
Yeah.
He was packing his
He's
dacks.
absolutely fucking packing his dacks.
She eventually made her way to shore, stormed into the hotel and packed her bags, announcing not only the end of the honeymoon, but also of their marriage.
No.
It is reported that she was actually grateful to the serpent for showing her that the true monster was her soon-to-be former husband.
Wow. Cop that.
Yeah.
That's when you find out who they really are.
Exactly. Put him into a bit of a crisis.
So this monster is best known as the Lake George monster, but what do you think its
preferred name is?
Shortened name, preferred name is. It's pretty clever.
Like George.
George.
Yes,
Oh.
it is George.
Just George.
Just George. Oh, it's George. Oh, that's
Like
just
Nessie.
that's just George.
Yeah, that's just George. He just breaks up newlyweds, shows them
You
for
know
who
what
they
he's
really
like.
But this was the last sighting of him. That breaking up that wedding party,
are. Yeah.
or that couple. That was the last he was seen.
Josh said, "My work here is done."
After the sightings, Mann went back to his dodgy extortionist ways, but it sounds like this time he found someone who wouldn't pay up That person, President Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay.
According to Flint, this is pretty... Anyway, according to Flint, Mann's blackmailing was eventually exposed when he was brought to trial, not for libel, but for perjury. In 1904, so this is that same year as the monster was seen, while Roosevelt was in the White House, Saunterings included a vicious account of the Newport debut of the president's notoriously independent daughter Alice. Though the 20-year-old was never mentioned by name, she was easily identified and accused of, quote, wearing costly lingerie, indulging in fancy dances for the edification of men, indulging freely in stimulants, flying all around Newport without a chaperone, and engaging in certain doings that gentle people are not supposed to discuss. If the young woman knew some of the tales that were told at the clubs of Newport, Mann wrote, she would be more careful in the future.
Oh. Is that a threat?
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
So she's a 20-year-old who's
living like a 20-year-old.
Living her life.
Yeah.
I know it's a different time, but like when you hear that back, you're like, fuck, this is petty, isn't it?
Mm.
She's wearing lingerie. Okay.
It's expensive.
She's
all right.
She's going on trips without a chaperone.
She's dancing
for the edification of man. Probably others as well.
Probably. Maybe herself.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
She's probably dancing like no men are watching.
How dare she?
Apparently a publisher of another magazine, Collier, I think it's called The Collier or Collier, the publisher was Robert Collier. Coincidental, I think.
Oh.
But Collier came to Roosevelt's defense, publishing articles ripping into Mann's town topics, calling it, quote, the most degraded paper of any prominence in the United States. Savage. This led to a public slanging match between the two mags, eventually ending with Collier having criminal libel charges laid against him. So I don't know. I think Mann or the publishing company that Mann owned sued Collier, the competitor, who I think was a slightly less smarty magazine. Mm. But this backfired on Mann as he was accused of lying in his testimony during the libel case, and Mann was later charged with perjury. And though he was acquitted, the trial uncovered his dodgy way of doing business. So, you know, in court, he had to answer questions that he probably didn't want to answer. And all of a sudden, the blackmailing stuff came to light. So it really backfired if he was the one who started that case.
So, man, do you blackmail people? Look over there.
Yeah.
Well, we've got evidence here of, you know, they probably would have to must have put things to him that he couldn't refute.
Yeah.
Like, here's a check here or whatever. I don't know.
But if they get him for perjury, so he's lying about
I think they caught him in a lie, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Flint. According to court documents, he received at least $76,000 from renowned Wall Street operator James R. Keene, $25,000 from William K. Vanderbilt, the richest man in America, $10,000 from steel magnate Charles Schwab, $5,500 from financier Jay Gould, sons George and Howard, and $2,500 from J.P. Morgan, the nation's most prominent banker, and in the estimation of many, its most powerful citizen. So I think all of this came out in the case. Even so, owing to incomplete evidence, he was never prosecuted for extortion. And Flint asked, did he ever express remorse, though, for what he did? And no. To the contrary, he later told a reporter from the New York Times, my ambition is to reform the 400 by making them so deeply disgusted with themselves to continue their silly, empty way of life. I'm really doing it for the sake of the country.
I'm a hero.
This isn't for profit.
I'm raking in this cash for you, America.
Yeah.
This isn't for me.
You're welcome.
Wow. Brave.
So it's a bit of a piece of work.
Yeah.
Also, there was one on the encyclopedia article. It made it seem like it's not clear, but it said some sources say he joined the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay.
How many sources do you need to say that before you think, well, it's probably true, isn't it?
It was just interesting. The encyclopedia sort of stepped slightly back from it because they were obviously... But you can't libel a dead guy, can you? Spoiler alert, he was born in 1839.
The fuck?
Sorry.
Yeah, that is interesting. They're sort of like, well, we couldn't find the cloak and his stuff, so hard to say. He had photos from meetings, but yeah.
Yeah. But maybe someone gave them to him.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he put them up on his dartboard because he hated them. The Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was a real piece of work. But it's just a wild laugh as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
amazing.
I only stumbled upon him because he was the guy in the boat.
Yeah, and you're like, I'll look into who these people are. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, that was quite a sidetrack. So anyway, let's get back to the Lake George monster. The years went by, and locals didn't see hide nor hair of the monster for 30 years.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my gosh, it holds its breath for a long time.
Then, or it just got better at hiding.
Yeah,
It kept popping up right next to boats.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, shit. But then in 1934, any theories?
Big fish.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Eels, series of eels. And then they
Like in a big jacket,
Yeah.
pretending to be a bigger
One
monster.
big eel.
Yeah.
Ooh.
One really big eel and several smaller eels, like helping out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
eels.
think it's a dinosaur.
Okay.
Okay.
These are all good guesses.
Moles.
All right, now you're talking.
Yeah.
All right.
Underwater moles.
Underwater moles.
These are all so good.
Or could it be some sort of underwater fissure? Like it's just like water's bubbling up. Volcano under the lake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lava come to life.
Yes.
Well, no. In 1934, it was finally revealed that the whole thing was a hoax.
No. What?
I know.
The guy that made up all those stories about rich people couldn't be trusted to talk about a giant monster?
It wasn't his hoax. But let me tell you how it came about. The culprit I've already introduced you to, but it's not Colonel Mann. He was a victim of it. The guy who was behind it was the artist and eyewitness Harry Watrous. The witness Watrous.
Oh my
Harry.
gosh. The guy that later painted several nudes.
Yeah, and it was
And was the subject of my perfect joke.
Yeah, that's
he was the eyewitness for a reason. You know, he was there watching the guy shriek and
Oh,
all that
whilst
sort
he
of
was-
stuff, enjoying his handiwork.
His remote control monster or something.
So he came clean finally in 1934.
30 years later.
Yeah, because at the same time, the Loch Ness Monster was making worldwide news. I think it was first came to prominence in 1933, and then there was a big New York Times article from the 25th of April in 1934, and it talked about Watrous coming out and admitting to it all. And it says that a photograph in last Sunday's New York Times of the Loch Ness Monster so closely resembled Mr. Watrous's creation that he decided to tell the world. In telling his story, he said that he believed the Scots were spoofing the world with Nessie, just as he'd spoofed locals 30 years prior.
Ah, right. So he reckoned they were ripping off his spoof.
Yeah. He's like,
They'd stolen his spoof.
that was my spoof from 30 years back.
Yeah.
Don't
can't-
reheat my spoof.
Yeah, don't try and spoof a spoofer.
Yeah, never spoof a spoofer.
Yeah, all right. I spoofed 30 years ago, so you
Yeah.
can spoof.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, don't take the spoof.
I was spoofing when you were in short pants, Nessie. So Watrous's Lake George spoof story all began with a fish. Watrous and the
Did I
Colonel.
not say fish? I said big fish.
You did say, oh my God, the story starts with a big
Oh
fish.
my gosh.
I got it.
I was just thinking about how
You just answered a different question, but you got it.
remember how some people think the theory that the Loch Ness Monster is actually just an otter that people have misidentified.
That was so much fun. I love that whole otter thing.
An otter. Very funny.
I love otters. They're so
They're
cute.
so cute.
They hold
Hold
hands. Oh, it's so cute.
So Watrous and the Colonel were friends and both keen fishermen. And it's believed Watrous caught the largest salmon trout at 24 pounds from the lake around the year 1900. The Colonel thought he could do better and bet Watrous that he could catch a bigger one. According to Nadine Mayo Hill, who compiled an article about the incident for the Warren County Historical Society, one day, when they were both out in their fishing boats, the Colonel made sure that Watrous saw him reel in what appeared to be a 30 to 40 pound trout. Crestfallen, Watrous conceded he wouldn't be able to find one bigger than that monster. He's like, all right, you win. And he conceded defeat. But then, when he later visited Mann's house, he found a huge wooden trout mounted on his living room wall. The exact same trout he saw him catch in the lake.
All right, so he mounted it quickly.
And got it woodified. He petrified it somehow.
It's a beautiful process.
Exactly.
Turning fish to wood.
You keep him forever that way.
Yeah.
They keep so much better.
It's the most
as wood.
humane way.
Yeah.
So he didn't notice at the time that he was reeling in a piece of wood.
Yeah, and really, that's on you.
And then when he
If
got
you can't tell the difference between a wooden fish and a real,
Yeah.
still alive, flapping around fish, that's kind of on you.
and did you like try and gut the wood?
We did say that his eyesight started failing around this time.
True. Easier to
fair
trick
enough.
him, which is mean.
But as soon as but it's so funny as well to not hide the evidence.
Yeah.
Although I guess Watrous would have been like, "Where's the fish?" at some point. But it's funny to put it up mounted on the wall.
Yeah.
So straight away he realised he'd been fooled, and he began to plot his revenge.
Great.
In 1934, when he outed himself as the prankster and like a quite a respected artist, he was. I think at this time he was head of some big art institution as well. So it's such a funny thing. 30 years back, I pranked the boys. So this is what he said in 1934. While the Colonel was in New York attending to business, probably blackmailing and whatnot.
Yeah. Business.
During the week ending June 27th, 1904, I got a cedar log and fashioned one end of it into my idea of a sea monster or hippogriff. I made a big mouth, a couple of ears like the ears of an ass, 4 big teeth, 2 in the upper, 2 in the lower jaw, and for eyes I inserted in the sockets of the monster 2 telegraph pole insulators of green glass. I painted the head in yellow and black stripes, painted the inside of the mouth red and the teeth white, painted 2 red places for nostrils, and painted the ears blue. As the New York Times article wrote in 1934, after the creation had received a few coats of gaudy paint, Mr. Watrous was ready to spring his trap. And he admitted he was almost frightened himself when he first saw his mechanical serpent leap out of the waters of Lake George. It would be funny to be like going, I'm pulling, here it comes. Here oh, thank God. That's my fake serpent. Watrous continues, the log of which I fashioned the head was about 10 feet long. To the bottom of the log, I attached a light rope, which I put a pulley system through, which I attached to a stone, which served as an anchor. The pulley line was about 100 feet long and was manipulated from the shore. So basically he rigged up this system. So there's a weight at the bottom of the lake and his rope goes through it and up to the monster. So he's able to pull
just pulls the rope
up
slowly.
and down. Yeah. And it'll make it move up and down. And apparently he was like, when it came out of the water, it looked like it was sort of, he's like, it worked out so perfect. It was like it was shaking the water off itself. Back to Watrous.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I went out and anchored the hippogriff close to the path which Colonel Mann's boat would have to take from the landing to his island. I tested the monster several times, sunk it, and waited for Colonel Mann and his party to arrive on Saturday afternoon. Hidden behind a clump of bushes on shore, I watched as the launch approached, and just as it was about 10 feet away from my trap, I released the monster. And yeah, it came up nobly, he said. It's a log. Have you ever seen a log come up nobly?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. It's something you never forget.
Yeah. And you haven't seen it? That's sad for you.
And he said,
a noble log.
And I will say that to several people in Colonel Mann's boat, it was a very menacing spectacle. Then he talks, this is when he talks about Mr. Davies screeching and Mrs. Bates hitting the water with her parasol. And as soon as I gave the audience a good look at the hippogriff, I pulled it down to the bottom of the lake again. When Colonel Mann got home from his sighting with the monster, he was soaking wet. In all the kerfuffle, he got really wet. But according to a 1963 article by Art Knight, who was the editor of the Lake George Mirror, there were conflicting accounts as to what happened between the sighting and the Colonel's dripping arrival at his cottage door. Mr. Watrous claimed the poor fellow screamed like a banshee, knelt to pray, flung himself overboard, and thrashed ashore. The Colonel, on the other hand, insisted he maintained his dignity, though momentarily startled, and stumbled into the drink because he stepped on a shadow he mistook for the dock.
Which is less embarrassing.
Surely that's more embarrassing. You were spooked by a monster, or you just stepped into water thinking it was land.
So funny to watch someone think they're stepping onto a pier and they just go
disappear. No, nothing embarrassing like being afraid of a monster. I just stepped into the water accidentally. Thwomp. Yeah, so funny. Back to Watrous. Although Colonel Mann's home was on an island, the news of the sea serpent was all along the shore of the lake that night. Taking advantage of the darkness of night, I moved the monster from place to place along the lake shore, and everybody who saw my monster had a new story to tell of its awe-inspiring appearance.
Right, so there were actual sightings. I thought it might just be, if the first one's fake, people just start to think they see something, but he's actually moving it
around.
Diabolical.
Yes. He said, each day we provided new thrills for the populace, And that is how the rumour started that there was an honest-to-goodness sea serpent living in Lake George. So apparently he was having a great time doing it, but he did decide to end the joke after spooking those newlyweds. And he felt bad about causing the fight.
Oh, my. So
That was what stopped it.
He broke up a marriage.
That's what he thinks, yeah. That's how he tells it.
With a log.
But, like, if that is all true, like the bride said, I'm glad you just showed me something that I was going to find out eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if not on night one, then surely one time in their marriage, a monster would appear and she'd have to protect herself.
Yeah.
So better you find out on night one than on night 1,000.
That's right.
Or 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I think he was...
How many don't worry about it. 10,000 just seems like a lot.
That's a lot of nights.
30 years or something.
I think, I just think the husband was a feminist. And he said, we're equal.
Yeah.
I'm going to thrash away equally and you can thrash yourself away. Which is what she said to him after later on in the honeymoon night. Almost made sense.
Do you want us to help you perfect that joke?
Okay.
Yeah, can you help me perfect that joke?
Alan Key's out. Let's do it. Nah, just move on.
In 1934, man, I was so complimentary of your two dog shit jokes. In 1934, when Watrous...
That's your mistake.
Sorry, I only just got yours. Wow, that's good.
No need. It's perfect.
Thank you so
That
much.
was such a perfect
Thank
joke.
you.
Well, thrash away. Like he's going to wank.
Like he's going to
Yeah,
wank.
like wank
Because
you.
she's not going to wank him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not going to wank. She's like, I'm not going to wank him. I'm furious at you. You
I'm
wank
mad.
yourself
You
tonight.
wank yourself. I'm not wanking you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it now. I didn't get it
Oh,
before.
if you didn't get it, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty highbrow joke.
It's not on you, it's on us.
Yeah.
We didn't
I'm
get
not smart.
No, I know. So, in 1934, when Watrous was publicly coming clean about the hoax, he was also convinced to bring George out of retirement. And he said he'd still been in his shed the whole time, is what he told the papers. And he reenacted the hoax for an Independence Day carnival. According to Nickell, Watrous set up his contraption and, during one of the celebration's water events, spooked a boat full of onlookers. The incident was said to have been the highlight of the whole carnival.
Everyone loved it.
Isn't that a great ad for how fun this carnival was?
Yeah.
That a boat being spooked by a log was the highlight.
God, that was good.
But I like this. Later that day, Watrous boasted, I spoofed the world once with this horrendous beast, and I spoofed it again this afternoon. What a great brag. Yeah, spoofed me once. So, I mean, we're pretty much wrapping up now, but...
So I just got to ask, 30 years later, was Colonel Mann no longer alive? So he never
Yes.
knew that it was a spoof.
As far as I know, although they were friends, and he was so loose with his own prank that he mounted the fake fish on the wall.
Yeah.
You wonder if Watrous must have at some point wanted to go, that was me.
Yeah.
Probably come out and say, look, Mann was going to write a salacious article about Watrous, but he's like, I could pay you. Or I could just shut up forever about the fact that I spoofed you and made you think there were sea monsters.
That's right.
So that he blackmailed
Never
the blackmailer.
spoofer. Never blackmail a blackmailer. So yeah, I'll run you through what happened to the three main characters after the event. Harry, Colonel, and George. So Harry Watrous, prior to this, I think he'd married another artist named Elizabeth Nickell. And I read somewhere someone thought that she was the superior artist. She was also a novelist as well. And in 1914, the National Academy of Design established an award for sculpture named in her honour, which maybe is still going, or at least was it to the point of the article I read.
She sounds like an overachiever.
Yeah, she was also born very wealthy, which I
Right.
think is how it seems like that was a pretty big advantage back then. Not like it is now.
No,
everyone's
now-
equal now.
everyone's
born equal. which
Doesn't
is
really
great.
matter what sort
Yeah.
of.
Even playing field.
Yeah. But back then, I can understand that would be, a real, like a privilege, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, somewhat of a privilege.
Never even heard that word.
This just briefly, he killed a man.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, but don't worry. He's a prankster.
That guy.
He killed a prankster. Okay, I was thinking. No, in 1913, Watrous was awoken by a noise at 2 a.m. in his Lake George house. He went into the dining room with a flashlight and a gun, where he encountered two burglars, these brothers, and he shot and killed one of them which was said in self-defense. So he wasn't in trouble for it, but he shot him dead. And, the brother got away, ended up getting caught and taken to jail.
Shit.
That's
pretty grim. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's one of those too. You're like, oh, man, you've broken into his house, you robbed him, but killing is that's a if you don't know, it's in the dark. I don't know if they had guns or whatever. I guess if it's self-defense, they must have had weapons as well. But it's different rules over there. I think once they've broken into your house in America,
you can shoot them.
You can do whatever you like to them. In 1921, his wife Elizabeth passed away aged 63, but he lived on until 1940 at the age of 82. So he had a long innings there.
Wow.
His obituary in the New York Herald Tribune was very friendly, which I guess obituaries normally are. It wrote, "A good painter," which is faint praise for sure, "a good painter with a lovable personality has been lost in Harry Watrous. He was universally likable. He had a bubbling sense of humour, besides kindness and never failing goodwill. Harry Watrous had charm, and it was the more potent because he gave no thought to its cultivation, but was simply and spontaneously his engaging self.
Oh, that's nice.
His long career has left its mark, the mark of a devoted artist and a high-minded gentleman." So, yeah, pretty big raps for him. Yeah. I did read he was sort of like, in his sort of elder role in the art world, he didn't like, I think it was modernist, whatever a new fashionable style was. He's like, it's a fad. Where he didn't like it at all, which just made it sound. It's so funny when people in art, you come up. I think it's in every generation when the generation you're the young ones at the start. We're changing everything. You get old. Hey, why aren't we doing it the way we want it to? Forgetting that it's it's funny how that repeats itself over and over every generation. And I probably repeat that thing every episode or two.
Every fucking day.
Every
fucking day.
I've got this really original thought about generations.
You text it to me every morning. And I'm like, oh, please leave me alone. It's Christmas Day.
It looks like his paintings are still floating around, and a bunch of them have been sold at auction over the last few decades, selling for around between 10 grand and 70 grand. So they're like, people want them, but they're not like priceless artwork.
Yeah.
So that was him. Then we had Colonel William Mann. His magazine survived the Roosevelt scandal, but according to Flint, society started moving on from his brand of gossip writing. As the new century dawned and New York society became less obsessed with Victorian standards of behaviour, subscriptions and advertising revenues waned. Not to mention opportunities for blackmail. Because it's like people were like, we don't care if people are having fun in their private lives.
Yeah.
You don't care what underwear people are wearing.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
He died of pneumonia on May the 17th, 1920 at the age of 81. So this is 14 years before the hoax went public. And when he died, he was insolvent. The magazine itself survived a little longer than him, ceasing publication in 1932 when the then owner was getting in trouble for their dodgy ways.
All right. But he obviously made and lost a whole fortune then. Sounds like multiple times.
Yes. Yeah. Really crazy life. It was just so funny to stumble upon him, the man in the boat.
Yeah.
As for the monster, because to be honest, there's not that much on this story, so I was pretty stoked to find this guy.
Yeah.
As for the monster, the hand-carved George, according to Mayo Hill, was eventually purchased and shipped to the Caribbean home of its new owner, Kay Bailey, who vacationed at Lake George and lived on St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. In 1966, same year the St. Kilda Football Club won their one and only AFL-VFL premiership, Walter Grishcott and his wife Joan went on a Caribbean cruise and brought the monster back through customs. According to Grishcott, there was some confusion about how to estimate the amount of duty on a monster. Interestingly, though, George still bears the duty stamp he received upon entering the US on his return trip to the Lake George. So you can see photos of it now, and it's still got that that stamp on him. George was put on display at the Lake George Historical Association Museum until the 7th of July 2001, when a mock trial was held to determine the custody of George, which just shows how much fun this historical society is willing to have. They'll do a mock trial for fun.
Good on them.
They'll do that just for fun, just for your entertainment.
Just for shits and gigs.
Yeah. A court order resulted in shared custody. So a replica of George was made for the Lake George Historical Association Museum, and with great ceremony, the original George travelled back to his home in Hague, where he's on display at the Hague Historical Museum. We gotta put that on the itinerary.
Yes, that's awesome.
We gotta go visit George. So that's the story of the Lake George monster.
That is such a fun tale. And like pretty totally harmless, it feels.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best possible outcome.
Yeah.
It was a fun hoax.
Yes.
Fun hoax, nobody got hurt. A couple who probably shouldn't have been married broke up.
Yeah.
And also, we've got an answer. Nearly all those monster ones were like, some people think it's real, some people don't. It's like, it's not real, and we know why.
It is very
that's
nice to
fun.
have the full story.
Yeah.
And I think you could make the same, like the wife saying, I'm glad I dodged a bullet here.
Yeah.
I imagine he could probably make the same argument. Look, I had a bad moment, and you're going to call up our whole relationship?
Yes.
Well, I don't feel like you're going to stick with me through tough times either then.
Yeah. Give me a break.
Come on, I'm sorry.
I shat myself. Did you want me to be near you at that time?
I was worried that he might be attracted to the shit. We don't know about George and what his proclivities are.
I was trying to lead him back to shore with my shit.
Here, Georgie.
Plenty more where that came from.
Just give me 6 to 8 hours.
All right, so I think that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show, where we thank some of our great Patreon supporters.
That's right.
It is a good point, Dave. The way that there's a conclusion, and if you read about it, it's normally talked about as a great hoax. But I thought it was more fun to reveal the hoax later or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. And that never crossed my mind. I honestly thought big eel.
With little eel
With
helpers.
little eel helpers, that's right. Little minions.
So at this part of the show, we like to thank a bunch of our supporters who have signed up on patreon.com/dogoonpod. And if you want to get involved, just go to that website I just said. That's probably pretty straightforward. Need any further explanation?
I can say it again if you like. Patreon.com/dogoonpod.
And just what are some things people can get involved with if they go on there?
People can enjoy 3 bonus episodes a month. They get to vote on topics 2 out of 3. You get to vote on, which is very fun.
So people voted for this topic. They wanted it.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
want it.
It won. Yeah, so there were 3 topics up for grabs. One of the other one was a big historical topic. And this one with 40% of the vote in a 3-horse race. That's a big win.
It's a big win. You can also join our Facebook group, which is the friendliest corner of the internet, and get early access to tickets to live shows and live streams and all sorts of fun stuff that we do.
Exactly right. But the first thing we do is a little section called the Fact, Quote, or Question section, which I think has a little jingle. It'll probably go something like this.
Fact, quote, or question. Ding.
He always remembers the ding. Huh. She always remembers the single. And the jingle. The single? No. Anyway, what people do here is they give us a fact, quote, or question, or a brag or suggestion, or really whatever they like. They also get to give themselves a title. I'll read them out for the first time on the show. That is just me telling you that in case they say something dodgy or I muck it up. It's not my fault. I'm very defensive. Anyway, the first one comes from Lauren Joyner, a.k.a. Jurassic Park historian.
Ooh. That's beautiful, boys.
Have we ever done an episode on Jurassic Park?
Not yet.
It's not real, Matt. The fuck do you mean?
Wait, that was a hoax?
Have we done an episode on Jurassic Park? It's not real.
Yeah, and Jess has kind of been there in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I have! Kualoa Ranch.
Jess, we did an episode on Dolly Parton. I think we can do episodes about things that aren't real.
Oh, Matt. She's real.
What?
I know it's impossible to believe because she's so magical, but she is in fact real. But Jurassic Park is not.
Sorry, is heaven missing an angel?
Say that to a 77-year-old woman? Oh my goodness.
She performed at a halftime at maybe a Thanksgiving Day match or something in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it was a Dallas Cowboys game. And I think it was their home game or whatever. And some wags online said, I thought for a second they would bring out cheerleaders from their last Super Bowl win. Because they haven't won it in a while. And she's older.
So they're calling her old? What the fuck?
I get it now.
What the actual fuck?
I thought you just said she was 70-10.
70-10.
Is that right?
She's 77.
But
77.
But you're right.
Yes,
Round
young.
7.
Round 7 up. I learnt all my numbers from soft drink. So anyway, oh my God. My God. Lauren Joyner, the Jurassic Park historian, has a brag, writing, "Every year I set a reading goal, and it's usually 52 books." And this was written, obviously, in the year 2023. I should hit it this year, but maybe not due to too many podcasts listened to. It's written right. I'm saying it wrong. Too many podcasts listened to. Yes, I will blame all of you if I don't hit my goals.
Sorry.
But even if I don't hit the goal, I'm still happy to brag that I read a bunch of books in 2023 and learned a whole lot, partially through podcasts, so rescind the blame. Thank you so much. That's a weight off, actually. Some of my favourite books of 2023 include comedy drama. Oh, I listened to that, / read it with my ears. The 90s, and A Heart That Works. Those are my non-fiction picks. Still working out my fave fiction. And since I mentioned podcasts, some of my favourites that I started this year are If Books Could Kill and 5 to 4. Working 5 to 4. Really great if you want to get into US Supreme Court cases while also hearing a lot of snark and swearing. And I do. What are some of your favourites from the year? Books, podcasts, or other? Thank you for another year of delightful fact-based comedy content. Nicolas Cage was a highlight for me. Cheers. Ooh, I wonder if that means Nicolas Cage will get the vote in the Golden Shiny Garys.
Oh.
Which probably the voting's open as we release this episode.
Hopefully. Maybe. Yeah, who knows? So the question is, favourite book?
Book or podcast or whatever. I've been loving Big Beacon by Alan Partridge.
Oh, that'd be good.
It's a story told. It's a unique. He talks about it as a really unique literary device he uses, where he tells two stories interspersed each chapter. Him both getting back into TV, and the other chapter him working on restoring a lighthouse.
Wow.
Okay. Is this a new one?
Yeah, it just came out late last year.
Oh, I don't know that. I love it.
That's good. It can be a podcast?
Yeah, she mentioned podcasts and books.
Well, I haven't read as much as I wanted to, but I did get into Emily Henry wrote Book Lovers and a couple of others. They're sort of like a really easy kind of they're rom-coms in books. You know, they follow that same sort of formula, so it feels very comforting because you know what's going to happen, and that is nice on my little gentle brain. And they're good for holiday reads, you know.
Yep.
Smashed out a few of those. Yeah, Dave, you've read a lot.
I was looking at the book cheat books I've covered this year. One that really surprised me, I loved the structure of how the story was told, was The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie by Muriel Spark. Loved that one.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Big fan. And if you want, I don't know if you can't be with actually reading it, I did it with Michelle Brazier and Sam Peterson on the Book Cheat podcast. That's episode 84. But apart from, and what about for podcasts this year? They've relaunched as special features. Cam and Alexi's podcast.
Yeah,
is very, very good. Love to listen to that every week.
I've been listening to. I've gotten very into We're Here to Help, which is hosted by Jake Johnson, who played Nick on New Girl, and Gareth Reynolds, and they give advice, and it's very funny. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts despite podcasting for a living, but I love that podcast very much. It's very funny.
Very good. And Matthew?
You
already gave a book a shout out, of course. And I'm going to put that on my list because I love the Alan Partridge.
I mean,
funny.
I love all his books are so great, and his podcasts. He talks about the Oust House a bit. Oh, it's actually, I won't spoil it, but it starts with a sad. Anyway, I won't.
Oh my God.
Starts with sad. Wow.
I've also been really enjoying You Springin' Springsteen on My Bean, which is like a new, or the latest from the You Talking You Two to Me series, where Adam Scott Ockerman goes through, that's Adam Scott and Scott Ockerman, they go through a discography of an artist. And they talk for the first hour or so nonsense, and then eventually get around to talking about the album.
So funny.
But it's so funny.
I would also recommend Invisible York, the latest novel by a local independent author, very mysterious. Nobody knows much about him.
Apart from his name, Aidan Simpson.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been reading and enjoying that one too.
Yeah, a great novel.
Great novel.
And a great Christmas present if you if there's
For
somebody you
2024?
forgot to buy Christmas present for and you're seeing them soon.
Yeah, there are plenty of people you don't see in January. You don't get round to see until February. And you say, hey, I bought this in
I got this
November
year
thinking of
Christmas
you.
present. Yes, exactly.
And then
that.
it says here released this December, and you go, shut up.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
I just looked up Big Beacon, Matt, and I've got to say, I'm laughing at the cover. The tagline is, a lighthouse rebuilt, a broadcaster reborn. That is so funny.
Very good.
There's the two stories.
Wow.
Already
In a
laughing
nutshell.
at
What an interesting way to go about it.
It
Very
changes things
unique.
up a bit.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, he doesn't spoon feed it too much, but yeah, there's a bit of a metaphor going on there with the lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Great tips, great message. Next one comes from Broderick Henry. The Left Door to the Triptych Club is the title, and the question reads thusly. Hello, hi, it's me, I'm back, this time with a question. What's an irrational and irrational fear you had growing up? Something that was told to you, or you just came up with it by yourself, that scared you for no good reason? Ooh.
Oh, that's tough.
Maybe
Or-
I'll go, you got one?
I was just thinking in primary school on the walk home, you were under no circumstance to step on any of the cracks in
Of
the pavement.
course, yes. In
Otherwise
case-
you'd break your
break your mother's back.
Yeah.
We thought we would explode.
Yeah,
Oh,
Um,
because you were on your mother's back at the time.
yeah.
Yeah, an explosive back. So that's the first one that comes to mind. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about just walking home, which, do every day, and you're like, oh, no.
I was told, okay, I have one that I realised as an adult that I'd been tricked, and so I confronted my parents, that I was told I wasn't allowed to, put my clothes on the floor because spiders would get into them,
Oh, my God.
right? And so I'd be like, oh my God,
That's
I'm not
clever.
doing that. I know. And so then as an adult, I went, you tricky bastards. You told me if I put my clothes on the floor, spiders would get in them. And Mum was like, no, we had a lot of spiders at that house. That one was real. She was like, there's a few times we picked up our clothes and there was a whitetail or something in there, or a redback. She was like,
And they can't climb. That's
Yeah.
something you know about the spiders. They can't climb into drawers
she was
or
like,
wardrobes.
just, even just shake your clothes before you put them on or something. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
I thought I'd caught her and I hadn't.
That's funny.
She was actually trying to protect me.
So Broderick answers his own question, which we always encourage the fact quote or questioners to do.
Love it.
Writing, I have two, both sleep related. For the longest time, I thought if I were to sleep on my back, in the morning when my mum would come to wake me, she would think I was dead. Since the times I've seen people sleeping on their back, they were in coffins, and that I would get buried alive.
Oh, wow.
I also thought if you slept with an arm or leg hanging over the side of the bed, that it would stretch abnormally long to reach the floor in the middle of the night and would never stretch back to normal.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't that something under the bed would get you,
Yeah.
which I was going to be like, yep, definitely feel that one. It's that your leg would stretch out really long.
And also, they slept on the top bunk, so for them, it would have been
that's
crazy long.
really long. Wow. That's an interesting one.
Anyway, keep up the good work. Don't forget to wash behind your ears. Bye.
Don't tell me where to wash.
That's rude to tell people where to
Don't
wash.
you dare tell me where to wash. I'll wash where I want to wash and I won't wash where I don't want to wash.
I just happen to want to wash behind my ears anyway.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm not doing this for you.
No, I'm doing it now. It's coincidence.
Yeah?
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Broderick. I can't think of any.
You can't think. What about one? I've got one as an adult. There's not. It's an irrational fear of, those little static shocks you sometimes get if you touch someone
Yep.
or you touch something. Often you get them if you're pushing a trolley. I've found,
Okay.
and if I get one, I get nervous to ever touch the trolley again for the rest of the trip. Even though it's like the smallest little shock.
Yeah, yeah.
It
But
doesn't
it's-
hurt at all.
But it is like a it's a little
and
shock.
so I just keep slapping the trolley, going.
You know you can get groceries delivered.
Yeah, no, I like being in the shop. I like choosing my own stuff. I don't like some person choosing my plums.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ooh, me plums. Jess likes to cut in the middleman.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to the supermarket?
Oh, I go, but I'll go for
How much is a loaf of bread?
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
out of touch.
I am
You
out of
know,
touch.
You Triple J presenters.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Still currently.
Do you even know how to use the checkout?
I do.
Oh, okay.
No, I just live up 2 flights of stairs. I live on the 3rd floor and I can't be bothered bringing a week's worth of groceries up. So,
So some other pleb will have to do it for you.
Yeah.
yeah. Who gets paid to do it?
Okay.
So keeping somebody employed. You guys,
You
you
are
guys-
a good person.
You guys
I
want me
actually
to-
didn't realize how good of a person you are.
Thank you.
Keeping people employed
Thank you.
in
Yeah.
the gig economy.
Yeah.
A very
Giving people gigs.
Good exposure up
Yeah.
your stairs. There's not a roof that goes the whole way around.
Nah.
Bit of fun there. Sun exposure joke. So thank you so much, Broderick. Next one comes from this is so good. CJ Tour. Last time I read out one from CJ, I said, I met you in Chicago and I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's even though it's spelled T-U-O-R, it's pronounced T-O-U-R. Tour. Thank you so much, CJ, for looking after me there. I look forward to mucking that up next time.
Tour.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Tour.
He's Californian originally.
Right.
I've heard a lot of
Chicago. That is Californian, isn't it? Tour.
No, I'm going on tour.
Tour.
I've heard New South Welshmen say tour.
Tour.
Oh, they do say that. English people say it. I'm just about to announce my new tour.
Yeah.
Tour.
New tour dates on my website.
And we say tour.
Tour, yeah.
Tour.
I think
Does
theirs is
anyone
probably
say
better.
it right?
No.
Tour.
There's no right and wrong. It's just different.
That's,
and that's
a weird
fun.
one. I think it's all fun.
Tour.
I love it.
Announcing a new tour.
Tour.
New tour dates.
Tour. I'm going on a tour.
Tour.
Yeah, tour. That's definitely not right. Anyway, I'll say it. It's too late now.
Yeah.
I think we've just given every possible interpretation of it right there.
CJ's title is The Man Dave Glugs For.
Wow.
A couple of weeks ago, I was heard glugging on an episode.
Yes.
I don't know if people could hear it.
But
hear
it
the glug.
must have been when we were doing CJ's last fact quote question.
Oh, well, CJ, this one's for you.
Oh, no, don't glug. So just
Gluggy.
I have esophageal issues, okay?
No, this was nothing to do
You
with
are
that.
punching
It
down.
was a
mate.
particularly
I am on
gluggy glug.
I'm on new medication, okay?
And it's not
Are you
working,
happy?
mate. You're glugging away over there.
Are you happy?
Don't you fucking start me.
I had to go under 3 times to get approved for this shit.
Oh, so I can glug on taxpayers' dime.
That's right. I'm trying to get on the fucking PBS over here. Otherwise, it's $600 a script.
That's no good.
I'm not paying that.
No.
CJ writes, "Hey all, I just submitted one a little while ago, but Dave was taking a very loud drink during it and might
sorry.
ask for more. So I'll ask a question that's very on brand from a murder-based Chicago improviser. You might remember.
Yes,
I
you
saw
went
him at
to
the
CJ show.
Oh, the Hitchcock show, what's it called?
It was
Hitchcock
Hitchcock Tales,
Beautiful.
that's right.
Well
Loved it.
done, Dave.
into its 11th year, even older than this show.
Wow.
Maybe even into its 12th year.
Fuck!
We'll never catch him.
We're reeling you in.
So, yeah, this is his question. What is your plan for the perfect murder?
Oh, wow.
I feel like you two are great people to ask this because Dave loves murder mysteries and Jess loves killing.
Pardon me.
It's
okay.
true. God, I love to kill.
What's your favourite killing method?
Well, women poison. That's what I learnt by watching.
No, women are poison. I learned that right. Oh, no, well, that was on the other
It's
show.
on Deadlock.
Yeah, so good.
Women poison.
Learn a lot from that show.
So yeah, I guess I'd poison.
Yeah.
Just that, I don't want to stretch myself or yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
Oh, hang on. That just makes me think about last week's episode.
Yeah.
Women poison. There were 49 people in the suspect pool.
Yeah.
Let's get the men out of there.
Yeah, man.
Take the man out of the pool.
Clearly not a man.
That man was poisoned.
He was poisoned.
So get the men out. Let them go home.
Yeah.
Give them the day off. Women, you keep paddling.
Yeah. Until one of you admits you poisoned.
You'll all stay here until one of you admits.
It's your lunchtime, guys.
Okay?
How would you murder, Dave?
Well, I'm a big, strong man, so I'd probably just fight.
Just strangle.
Wait, Dave, this might help you out, actually.
Oh, good. Are there options?
Because CJ continues. For the sake of the thought experiment, let's say Dave has to kill Matt, Matt has to kill Jess, and Jess has to kill Dave. That's exactly how you wanted it last week.
Yes, I wanted to shoot Dave in the face. So that's what I'll do. I'm
You
going to choose
never
to
said-
shoot. I'm going to shoot Dave in the face.
You never said face.
Yes, I did. I said it multiple times.
Why
Isn't
have
that
you
weird?
leave a beautiful corpse, shoot me in the heart, for God's sake?
This
I'm
was
shooting
written
you
before we...
straight in the face.
This was written before we recorded that
That's
episode.
amazing.
That is weird. He got the exact order right.
Yeah, I'm shooting
exactly
Dave in the
what
face.
you wanted.
So I've answered mine.
And I'm shooting Jess in the back of the head.
While I'm
the
shooting
cow's
Dave.
leg.
And I'm going to bury him out alive, so...
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Dave.
That's
What? Just
cool.
because I said I'd shoot you in the face?
Oh, hang on. No. CJ goes on.
Oh, God.
What
Let's read the whole thing.
scheme, or plan would you employ to ensure even Hercule Poirot's little grey cells would not catch you up? Okay, yeah.
I think
I'd wear an invisibility cloak and shoot Dave in the face.
but you get away with it because Poirot would go, well, women only poison. This man's been shot in the face.
Yeah.
Clearly a man did it.
Yeah. And I'd shoot you with my right hand.
Oh, I know what I'd do is I'd poison Matt,
Yep.
and then Poirot would think, well, a woman's clearly done this. Dave didn't. Just did it.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm dead.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to live out the plot of one body, two victims, or whatever Dave's.
2 homicides, 1 victim.
Two homicides,
Which is,
one
of
victim.
course, my seminal 2002 self-published crime thriller.
Yes.
If you want to hear it, and you sign up on the Patreon on the bonus episode level or above, it's called My Dave Wrote a Poirot, which is one of my finest pieces of
That
work.
could be
I think.
the greatest thing you've ever said.
But if
Is
this
there
helps-
more?
Well, no, we always encourage the question writers to answer their own questions.
course.
And CJ has writing, and I know I'm supposed to answer my own question. I would give them a bit of poison and disguise it
A
as
bitter or a bit of?
bitter.
Oh, right.
Bitter.
A bitter
poison.
poison and disguise it in a bitter tasting alcohol. Say Chicago's famous Malort, which I shared with CJ in Chicago.
Oh, my God.
It's a filthy, but it grew on me after the second shot, I got to tell you. The key to this plan is to use very slow-acting poison so it will not take effect until they are back in Australia. Okay, that sounds specific.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And have
Okay.
long forgotten being forced to take a shot with Chicago improv icon Mick Napier. Wait, I took a shot of Malort.
Wait
my
a
God.
second.
Chicago improv man.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
And you're clutching your heart.
Oh my God. CJ finishes by saying, anyway, what's your perfect murder plot? And Matt, I would answer quickly.
That is incredibly threatening and well done.
Well done. Yeah.
Well done to you.
He's done again, CJ. Jeez, that's a good plan. Can I have yours, CJ? Because and the other thing about that is everyone would be suspecting it's a woman because women poison.
Poison. But
Yeah.
once again, I'm sticking with my original plan. I'm wearing an invisibility cloak and I'm shooting Dave in the face.
What about if I've got to take
Close range.
As
I'm
the-
going to explode his
Well,
head.
Poirot's not there watching, so
What if I've
does
got
the invisibility cloak help you that much?
Well, Dave said,
no witnesses?
Oh,
Yeah.
and the gun has invisibility cloak on it.
and I said
So no one
I
can
do it with
ever
my
find
right
it.
hand, so he wouldn't
Great.
even suspect me because I'm notoriously left-handed.
And women poison. So it
Yeah.
couldn't have been you.
I've shot him in
if
the
you're
face.
Yeah. I gave him lead poisoning to the face, I guess.
And I'm a really good actor, so
Officer.
I'd be like, what?
Me?
Dave?
You don't think
Oh,
I did it?
Dave!
I'm so
Just stuff like
sad.
that.
What about for Matt? Is there some way that I could get you really drunk and then make it so it looks like you choked on your own beard?
We're going to need him to grow his beard out a little bit more.
Really long.
Yeah.
And then,
And then shove it in his mouth.
unfortunately, he just passed out and put his head back and his beard just went in his mouth and he just suffocated. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's great.
I love that. I
It's
love
like
that death
accident.
for you.
Yeah, I think it's good to make it be an accident, right?
Yeah.
Because there's something real grim about putting someone else in the frame by framing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like going,
Yeah.
they're in jail for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could live with myself.
I could
Sure, I could kill.
Yeah, but if I killed you, it would be a victimless crime. But if I framed someone else,
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I had it coming. Fantastic question. And
A beautiful question.
A beautiful question,
Yes.
a beautiful thought experiment.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for putting
We all I think I answered a little too quickly, but
Finally this week, we've got one from Matthew Abad from the Funky Fun Flunky. No, not from it. Is it? Matthew Abad, a.k.a. the Funky Fun Flunky. And the Funky Fun Flunky's question is, when you were a kid, was there an article of clothing you absolutely loved to wear? And the Funky Fun Flunky has answered his own question here, which I appreciate. Mine was a t-shirt my parents bought me from a trip they took to Hawaii. It was a great white shark, and the shark's mouth was a flap on the shirt you could open to reveal his super cool and sharp teeth.
hell yeah.
I would tear apart my dresser trying to find that shirt, and it broke my heart when I grew out of it. Oh, fantastic.
That's
answer.
cute. Do you want to hear something cute?
Mhm.
Is Mum has a t-shirt that I had when I was about 18 months old, and it has like two little owls on it. But apparently I used to stand in front of the mirror and look at the owls and pat them and go, whoo, Whoo.
That's adorable.
It's really
It's
cute.
adorable, Jess.
Just talking about that the other day. I also had a like flannelette shirt, a flannel shirt, and that had a matching scrunchie because it was for girls.
That's a great combo.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Wow.
Great combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I have it?
Yes. For your beard.
I'd love it. Oh,
Ooh, keep growing it. Keep growing it so I can stuff it
What about
in.
you guys? Do you have a favourite item of clothing as a kid?
Definitely, there's lots of photos of me wearing a green Power Rangers outfit.
Oh,
that
cute.
was like made at, I remember there used to be this market in Eltham. I don't know how often it was on, monthly, weekly, whatever. And then there was just this store where this lady sold homemade, obviously copyrighted material.
Yeah.
You could buy like a Captain Planet outfit or a Power Rangers one. And
That's cool.
The green one was my favorite. And got to wear that
That's very cute.
a lot.
I'm thinking my Pittsburgh Penguins hat, which I got from my parents. I think it was because it was like the carrot for stopping biting my nails. If I stopped biting my nails for 6 months when I was like 12 or something, maybe younger, I'd get to get a hat and at Sportsmart, the bargain bin.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was, just looked like a cool hat. Yellow and black penguins on it. And
You've
love
been a
affair
hat guy
began.
ever since.
Been a hat guy, been a penguin guy ever
Go
since.
Penguins.
He loves the penguins.
Very penguin heavy episode last week. Not enough penguins this week.
Yeah, but
Agreed.
you brought them in on purpose, I know.
Mm.
I appreciate it.
I love a penguin. They're so far from home in Pittsburgh, though. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Or are they? Maybe they're up. I think we've got all the penguins, but there's penguins all around the world. I'll let the world have that one.
The world can have penguins.
But we have the best ones in Melbourne.
Oh, little fairy ones.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're cute.
Uh-huh.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much to Matthew, CJ, Broderick, and Lauren. Next thing we do is thank you for your other great Patreon supporters. Jess, you normally come up with a bit of a game.
Yeah, I was thinking, do we name their monster?
Ooh, don't mind it.
Love that.
You don't mind it because you hate it?
No, I love it.
Oh, okay, great.
Don't mind if I do.
Absolutely love that. And can I just say, I was obsessed I really wanted to find out where these penguins actually live.
Yeah.
In the Northern Hemisphere. There's only one species in the Galapagos Islands.
Well, there you go.
Apart from that, we've got them all down under. All in the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Huh? Okay.
So they don't get to just like go to Phillip Island on a school excursion and see penguins?
No, they don't get to camp out and see the little penguins.
Wow.
But you got to remember, they got their own things. They got moose.
Fuck.
they
I
got,
want to
like-
see a moose.
They got pandas in some regions.
Yeah.
They got
Beavers.
Beavers.
We got
oh my God, they got
koalas.
squirrels.
Squirrel.
We have koalas. They're cute.
I've never seen one.
Haven't you?
No.
Like in
In the wild.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Have you seen one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in the wild. I don't think it's sanctuaries and that kind of thing.
I've seen wombats, kangaroos, wallabies, dingoes,
Oh, yeah.
but I've never seen a koala.
Oh, that's cool.
I've seen crocodiles.
Yes. What else have you seen? Let's list stuff.
Yeah.
No, let's come up with some
Kookaburras.
monsters. Yep, love kookaburras.
Okay, sorry. Monsters. Absolutely.
All right. Well, if I can kick us off, I'd love to thank from Urbana in Illinois. Hey, Louis Baldemar. Thank you. What's Louis
Could be Louis.
or Louis Baldemar's monster?
Oh.
Okay. The giant pig-eared back otter.
Oh, yeah.
Pig-eared back? Pig-eared back.
Pig-eared back.
Pig-eared
So it's
back.
got a little saddle built into its back.
Yeah. And you can jump on
Wow.
for a ride. And if
Okay.
you stay on for more than 10 seconds, you win a prize.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. That's a cool monster.
Yeah.
But you got to catch it first.
You gotta catch it. That's the
Which is
challenge.
difficult. That's
It's hard to, yeah.
most of the challenge.
Then you don't see them that much. These monsters are, they know how to stay hidden. Oh, Lewis, you'd be pretty happy with that one. Next up, I'd love to thank him. Looks like destination unknown.
Oh.
Address unknown.
Ruby Soho.
Can only. That's what my brain did there. Ruby Soho. Can only assume deep from within the Ruby Soho of the Mo. Aidan Cranston.
Aidan Cranston.
The earless... Nah, never mind. I was going to say earless mole. I don't think they
All right.
have ears.
I think let's
got ears?
let's go to the three
Yes.
word thing. All right, I'll kick us off. Monkey.
Eared.
Whale.
Whoa.
Oh.
That is weird if you
That
see
is
it.
weird.
That is
Imagine
weird.
any whale with big ears. like a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
To scale, like we scale them up to
Scale 'em
whale
up,
size.
I feel like
Yeah.
They're not
elephant
tiny
ears.
little.
Yeah, like on a blue whale, these ears are bigger than people. I think that sounds like a beautiful beast.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think we've nailed that.
Thank you so much, Aiden. And finally from me, I'd love to thank from Southfield Am I in the US? Am I Dave, Missouri?
Minnesota,
M's,
Michigan.
The M's get us every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd love to thank
I'll look it up.
Haley Case and Grobble.
From
Oh my-
Michigan.
Well, that is one of the great names.
Haley
Oh my
Case
God.
and Grobble.
I was so focused on MI for Michigan that I missed it. Haley, Case, and Grobble.
That's so
Holy
good.
shit.
I grobble for you.
Oh my
All right.
God.
The
Okay, you're starting?
Yep. The dolphin.
I'd.
Mint ball. Mint ball. It's not anything.
But it's spooky, isn't it? Because that's the thing, you don't know what it is.
A ball, if you saw like some sort of ball that you think is minty and then it has the eyes of a dolphin, I'm shitting myself. I'm leaving my wife in the
you
water and
packing?
I'm absolutely swimming away from that. See you later.
Yeah.
Are you packing your wedding dates?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The marriage is over. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Jess, you want to thank a few?
I would love to. I would love to thank from Warkworth.
Hey, I'm Walkworth in here. Sorry.
Warkworth in New Zealand. I would love to thank Chanjiwa Chituta. How do you reckon I went there?
Chenjiwa
I
Chichuta.
think I'd say that too. I love the first name and last name both starting with CH.
Me too.
Love that symmetry.
Dave, can we do that with our monster? Three. Can we do
Choose. Yes.
You want to kick
okay,
us off?
Okay. The chocolate.
Chinned.
Chimpanzee.
Oh,
Chocolate
that's
chimpanzee.
great. It was a chimp, but it had like this big chocolate, like massive, like Abraham Lincoln, big jaw,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
a big beard underneath of the chocolate too, just to really emphasize how big this thing is.
Yeah.
Beard under the chocolate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or under the jaw, like a chin
That
strap
is
pretty full
hanging
on.
off the chocolate.
Menacing.
I would also love to thank from Samantha Severing.
Oh, a bit more alliteration with SS. Can we do that again?
Yes.
All right, let me kick it off here with salacious.
Snake.
Salamander.
Whoa, a snake salamander, a really long salamander.
And salacious. Oh,
Yeah.
this thing. Oh, you'll never believe it.
Oh,
Oh, my
he's
gosh.
naughty.
Oh, don't go there, snake salamander.
I've already gone there. I'm salacious.
Oh, what's he like?
It's been a long day. And finally, for me, I would love to thank from Colorado Springs
Oh, beautiful.
in Colorado, Joanna Nelson Rendon.
Oh my God, another fantastic.
What did
name.
we go? JNR.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll start it off with the jagged.
Nighttime.
Reindeer.
Ooh, that's scary.
That's scary.
Especially the jag. Like, what's that?
Why is it
Jagged
jagged?
reindeer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
is
scary.
it the horns or the body? is
What's
jagged?
going on?
And nighttime is one of the scarier times.
Yeah,
Oh.
I couldn't think of it.
I'd say it's the scariest.
Yeah.
Wow,
For
really?
me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Or dawn. That's pretty spooky.
Oh, yeah, dawn is.
Mm.
Dave, do you want to thank some people?
I would love to thank from Bloomington, Indiana. A big shout out and thank you to Donna K. Zyber.
DKZ. All right. Should we do DKZ? I'm going to say the diabolical.
King.
Zebra.
Whoa.
Thank God there's zebra.
It's just a really big zebra.
Yeah.
Well, it's got a big
Scheming.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
planning, scheming.
Yeah.
Always planning and scheming.
Wow.
Just repeating words.
It has been a long day.
Yeah.
Always planning, scheming.
Yeah,
Always
always
planning,
planning,
scheming.
scheming.
Oh, what am I in a musical? I would like to thank from Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh, God's country.
God's country. It's just repeating again. I would like to thank Michael Brown.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
Meteoric.
Blimp-like.
bassoonist.
Whoa.
The blimp-sized monster,
Yeah.
all of its heft plays down the bassoon.
Yeah.
So it goes... and
That'd be loud.
yeah, and that is a spot-on bassoon.
Yeah,
Can we agree with that?
As per usual. Spot on.
I just flash back to a time, the year of that, when my sister was in the year 8 school band and we went to see the band play, and there was multiple different ones, like the 7 and 8 band, the 9, 10 or whatever, and the 11 and 12 band came on and played on forever. And the only thing, I was like grade 5 or something, keeping me interested and basically my whole family engaged was watching the bassoonist and how red in the face he was going. I was like, yeah, he's slow, Michael. Look how
This guy's going to die.
call an ambulance. This is hilarious. It was the only part of entertainment for me. So, bit of fun. And finally, I would like to thank from Somerville, South Carolina. It is Kim McVicker.
Oh my God. That's so good. So we got maybe the KMV. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start off with the King.
Mincer.
Vicar.
King Mincer Vicar.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's the King Mincer Vicar.
It's pretty spooky.
Yeah. Imagine a vicar that's sort of like, so that vicar is in like a church person.
Yes.
But they're not, no one's given them a job. They appear sometimes.
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky.
That's spooky.
Actually, it's so scary.
Yeah.
The King, I don't know what mince. I thought it was like mincer is going to mince
Yeah.
things, but no, it's just a vicar.
No, it's still mincing stuff.
Yeah, a vicar rocks up in your kitchen in the middle of the night and starts mincing things.
That's
Some of the
scary.
stuff doesn't even need to be minced. He's mincing butter. The fuck are you doing?
Stop
Get
it.
out of there.
The last thing we need to do is welcome a few people into the Trip Ditch Club. There's 4 inductees this week. And the way this works, if you don't know, it's a bit of theatre of the mind. People have been signed up on the shout-out level or above. We induct them into the club. Once you get in, you can never leave, but that's a good thing. We swear it is.
Yeah.
And, it's sort of theatre of the mind. You walk in, it's a lounge, it's a ballroom, it's whatever you want it to be. There's booths just behind the bar. Dave's up on stage. I'm seeing the night. He's keeping everyone pumped up. He's also booked a band, and I'm on the door. Just doing a bit of admin. I got the clipboard. I got your names. I'll read out your name. Run on in. I've lifted up the velvet rope. Dave's going to hype you up, get the crowd into a bit of a raucous mood.
Mm-hmm.
Jess will hype up Dave because Dave is, pretty low on the old self-esteem.
Sorry, what?
Jess, have you come up with a drink for tonight, by the way?
Yeah, I actually got some of the... Well, actually, snack-wise, I have made an artist's impression of George out of dip.
So good.
It looks kind of weird, but the dip's delicious. And then drinks-wise, I thought it would be interesting to, like, get some of the lake water. So I went to the lake and I just, like, got a saucepan of water and then I boiled it.
Oh, Jess, no. not on the same stove.
Yeah.
Oh, Jess.
It's too hot.
Oh,
my
God. Jess,
I can't.
you were going to stop using that stove.
I can't get it to cool
It's summer
down.
in Australia, mate.
It
Come
goes
on.
from
Put
0
ice
to
in it.
11, that stove. There's no medium heat.
So I don't know if we have any drinks.
Oh, my God, it would have evaporated.
It's still there and it just won't leave.
Oh, it's still boiling?
Yeah.
Even with the stove off?
I've turned it off. I've moved it elsewhere. I put it in the fridge. It broke the fridge.
What do you want people to do with it?
I don't know. I just need help.
Can someone take it?
Nah. They tried.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
And Dave,
sorry.
you booked a band?
I'm afraid I've also fucked it up this week.
Oh, no.
I booked a band. I was very happy to have these people. At one stage, one of the biggest bands in the entire world. Depeche Mode are here.
Wow.
But unfortunately, they are refusing to play any of their songs, so we will be, in fact, enjoying the silence. So they'll be on stage, but they will not be making any music. I'm so sorry.
We can't. Nobody can chat or anything.
Nope.
We can't put on like a Spotify playlist.
No, that would be rude to the band. They just refuse to play any of their
right.
songs. So
Yeah,
sorry
fair
about
enough.
Can we chat to them?
that. No.
Can we ask
Okay.
them questions or?
Are we allowed to look at them?
Yeah, you can look at them.
Okay.
But do not touch.
Okay.
Okay, that was my
They
next
were-
question.
they were-
Probably
explicit.
can't afford the merchandise.
Look at
You broke it, you bought it.
I wasn't going to break it. Just
Yeah,
gonna
that's a
sprain it.
shame. All right, so we've got 4 inductees here. Dave, are you ready to hype them up?
Absolutely.
Let me just get the
pumped.
velvet rope here. All right, first name on the list, please make them welcome. Everyone make some noise from Footscray here in Melbourne. It's Bridget Jolly.
I'm feeling Bridget. All right. As in feeling jolly was what you
Yeah.
expected
Yeah,
me to
because it
say.
sounded like, remember your own rule of no touching.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, fine. I'm feeling jolly. Bridget's here.
Yeah.
But you expected me to say that, so I tried to make it sound like something else, but then it sounded a bit
Look,
weird.
personally, I liked it.
Thank
but
you.
it did make it sound like you were being inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure Bridget would appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So do you want to have another go?
Keep that in
or-
your pants for future reference.
I'm feeling jolly.
Okay.
Yep.
With no E.
Woo!
Yeah,
All right,
it's
move
the
on.
joke is that it sounds like it.
Yes. Okay. And next up, we used to do this with pace. Next up, from address unknown, must be from deep within the fortress of the moles. Please welcome in Olivia Krieger. Or Krieger. Or Krieger.
Oh, which one do you want to go with? I got to go with something.
Krieger.
Krieger. You make me roar like a tiger.
Okay.
Sure, yes.
That's so funny. The only animal I could think of was a liger. Next up, from Drexel Hill in Pennsylvania in the United States, please welcome in Barbara Murphy.
Does this work? Barbara, don't Murphy.
No,
Barbara.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's
Woo!
good. That works almost too well. And finally, from Wirral.
Remember we once had Worrell from Wirral.
Well, this could be, but from Wirral in Great Britain, it's Steph. I want to say Steph Worrell.
This whole night has taken a step up.
Yeah, because Steph's here.
Yeah. From Wirral.
Woo!
Steph from Wirral. Thank you so much, and make yourselves at home. Steph, Barbara, Olivia, and Bridget. Grab yourself a cup of too hot water and enjoy the silence.
Oh, so sorry about the water.
Jess, anything we need to tell people before we go?
That they can suggest a topic over at dogoonpod.com, or there's a link in the show notes, and you can find us on social media at dogoonpod or dogoonpodcast on TikTok, where we're blowing up, baby.
Oh my God, we can't be stopped.
We can't be stopped. TikTok has said, "Can you guys stop?" And we're like, "Nah."
I think we've had videos that have hit 4 digits of views.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fourth digit?
I know. I think they had to come up with one for
It's
us.
crazy. But yeah, you can find us over on social media, and Dave, boot this baby home.
Hey, we'll be back next week with another fantastic episode. But until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.